In January 1920, the United States embarked on a radical social experiment, the total ban of alcohol. Prohibition was designed to clean up society, eliminate crime, and restore moral order. Instead, it did the exact opposite. It drove the nation's culture underground, creating a network of secret speakeasies, bootleggers, and organized crime syndicates. Out of this lawless environment, a new figure was born, the modern rebel. Powered by the high-energy rhythms of jazz music and the defiance of the law, the youth of the 1920s revolted against Victorian morals, changing culture forever. With the saloons shut down, secret clubs called speakeasies popped up in basement cellars, hidden rooms, and behind fake storefronts. To enter, one needed a password or a trusted contact. But these speakeasies were different from the dirty saloons of the past. For the first time, men and women drank together in public. Women, who had recently gained the right to vote, discarded their tight corsets, cut their hair into short bobs, and wore knee-length dresses. These were the flappers, the original female rebels who danced, drank, and smoked in open defiance of societal norms. Every revolution needs a soundtrack, and for the 1920s, it was jazz. Born in the African-American communities of New Orleans, jazz was fast, syncopated, it was a complete departure from the rigid classical music of the older generation. As jazz bands traveled north to Chicago and New York, their music became the heart of the speakeasy. Older moralists were terrified, labeling jazz as a corrupting force that encouraged wild dancing and moral decay. But for the youth, the wild beat of the saxophone was the sound of freedom. Prohibition did not stop the public from drinking. It just shifted the profits from legitimate breweries to organized crime. Bootlegging, the illegal manufacture and transport of alcohol, became a multi-billion-dollar industry overnight. Gangsters like Al Capone in Chicago and Lucky Luciano in New York built massive empires on the supply of illegal booze. They bought off police, politicians, and judges, operating with absolute impunity. The modern gangster became a celebrity, romanticized by the media as a rebellious outlaw who gave the public what they wanted. The intersection of jazz, prohibition, and rebellion found its epicenter in Harlem, New York. The Harlem Renaissance was an explosion of African-American art, literature, and music that challenged racial stereotypes. Clubs like the Cotton Club and the Savoy Ballroom attracted integrated audiences, breaking down social barriers in a segregated America. Black writers and artists used their work to demand equality, proving that the artistic rebellion of the 20s was not just about having fun. It was a fight for civil rights and cultural recognition. The rapid change in culture sparked a massive backlash from traditionalists. The Ku Klux Klan grew to its highest numbers, representing a nativist fear of modern cities, immigrants, and racial integration. Religious fundamentalism surged, leading to events like the Scopes monkey trial, which pitted science against biblical creationism in the court. The nation was deeply divided between the conservative rural areas that supported prohibition and the progressive cities that ignored it. It was a culture war that shaped the political landscape of America for decades. The Party of the Roaring Twenties came to a crashing halt on October 29, 1929. Black Tuesday. The stock market collapsed, wiping out fortunes overnight and plunging the world into the Great Depression. In 1933, realizing that the ban on alcohol had failed to cure society and had only created a criminal class, the government repealed prohibition. The speakeasies closed, but the Cultural Revolution could not be undone. The flapper, the gangster, and the jazz musician had created the blueprint for every youth counterculture that followed. Prohibition was meant to enforce compliance, but it only created the modern rebel. The Roaring Twenties proved that culture cannot be controlled by law. What other eras of history created the rebels of today? Subscribe to the Untold Archive and join us in our next video as we uncover the secrets of the past. Leave a comment below. Do you believe prohibition did more harm than good?